sure we completely redesigned our performance management, making sure that it's now really a modern, following modern practices. Then we'll talk about feedback culture. There are some new tools in Gecko available that help companies build a strong feedback culture. Thirdly, we'll cover setup wizards. That's something more interesting for admins. Basically, there's new wizards available in Gecko, guiding them in customizing, adjusting Gecko to fit their needs in a very user-friendly way. And then employee and manager self-service, which is a core feature of Gecko from the beginning, but there are some nice new touches to it that we want to present. And then in the end, what's coming up in the next few months, and Q&A for you to ask questions, which you can already enter in the chat option in Zoom throughout the session. Okay, so let's start with the first topic, performance management. And here we are not talking about reviews only, actually far from that. I want to show you some features that go beyond that and really support continuous, transparent performance management throughout the year. So like I said, that's been a topic that we spent quite some time on recently. And we really investigated best practices of performance management. And we made sure that the new solution for performance management is based on that. So just to mention a few before jumping into the tool and showing you all of this in live demo. What are the core practices that we want to build in Gecko? Is that performance is managed every day. So it's not once per year like traditional performance reviews, but Gecko really supports ongoing conversations between manager and employee throughout the year in a nice way. Secondly, we covered the fact that goals are agile, they're not static. So they change throughout the years, and Gecko really supports that. So there's it's possible to change them with the history lock in behind. We focus also on the fact that performance is not just evaluation, it's not just measuring how somebody is doing, but also developing them. That's one of the core principles of modern performance management. So Gecko is covering both performance and development. And lastly, we really made sure to use the latest technological innovations in Gecko in performance management, from nudges helping managers and employees to participate in those practices, to analytics and AI. Really, we build them in to support all of these processes in performance management. So basically, what we got to is that Gecko is now really a complete system to grow talent. There are different aspects, different features that companies can pick and choose based on their current state, on their needs or their vision in performance management. So Gecko is covering more like traditional formal reviews like performance and career talks, goal management, but also newer practices that are proven to be beneficial, like one-on-one talks, feedbacks, continuous feedbacks throughout the year, competency management, onboarding, 360 assessments, to analytics, that I want to also show today in performance dashboard. But you may ask, okay, how does that look like work in practice? Just to show an example, how all of these tools come to life for, let's say, for an employee or for a manager in a year. So how does Gecko support them throughout the year? That's an example of a cycle for one company, but it's each company can build, can put all of those blocks into a cycle that fits their needs. But there are still some more formal events like performance talk, career talk, beginning, middle of the year. There's still goal setting. In this example, for example, you see a yearly goal setting and evaluation, but Gecko, of course, supports also quarterly or a quarterly goal setting, or maybe every half a year and so on. So that's, we renewed all of these former processes, but added the important ones to the pictures, like one-on-one talks that happen more often, let's say once a month or every 2 months. And those are not that formal and are initiated by employee or manager. Feedbacks that really support all of those more formal processes by providing additional input, and performance dashboard. That's also a tool that's available throughout the year to provide insights so that managers and employees don't talk about just based on their feelings, but also actually use some real data to support their conversations. But now I want to jump to the tool to show you all of these elements in a live demo, so you can get a better grip on it. I will log into Gecko as Bill Adams, who is a manager. And let's work on a hypothetical scenario. Let's say that Bill has been on holidays for some time, or maybe he has quite a large team, and now he's back. He, of course, wants to check in with all of his employees, but he's curious on what's been going on and wants to look at the data on how they are doing, on their goals, on their development. So to basically get a picture of what's going on. So he could go to Gecko, and maybe let's start with, because he's meeting with Anne, one of his employees today. He would look at her performance dashboard just to get that first feeling of what's been going on. So let's walk through that dashboard to see what actually he sees there. So performance dashboards, it's really an overview of what's happening with Anne in terms of her performance goals, development goals, one-on-one talks. He also see a timeline of important events that's been going on for her in the last months and what's coming up. And he also sees how Anne has been engaging in feedback recently. So let's look at the data. So what does Bill see here? So in terms of goals, he immediately sees that Anne, basically there's some attention needed with regards to her goals, because some goals are either at risk or stuck or are falling behind. Actually, on her performance timeline, he immediately also sees that one of her goals had a deadline in the past, so it's overdue, and obviously set status at risk. So he already got an idea of that. He sees that she's 62% of her goals are completed. It's all they have a yearly cycle, so it's almost end of the year. So apparently, I'm not sure, but she's not sure, but maybe she needs some help in getting to the finish line here. Development goals are obviously going well. She's growing strong. She has no stuck goals. So apparently something's been going on here. So seeing that, he wants to dig into more details to see what's going on, and he can directly from dashboard get to the goal screen in Gecko to get more insights. So from dashboard, which is an overview, we drilled down to a screen that's reserved for goals. So that's a separate process in Gecko where employees and managers set their goals. Gecko is guiding them through the whole process from setting goals, achieving goals, evaluating goals, and so on. And here, Bill sees basically the full list of Anne's goals. Some are completed, some are on track. Here's probably the one that's causing this need attention category. He can also see some details here, and that it's overdue, and that also Anne commented recently that she has some challenges and so on. But that's definitely something that he wants to explore further on. Okay, going back to the dashboard, or maybe just mentioning here as well that in Gecko it's very easy also to see the whole history of previous goals and so on from past years. Also, Gecko, maybe to mention, is that Gecko is supporting really measurable goals. So here I can see if I want to add more, I can add performance or development goals, and also different types of goals. So making sure that these goals are not just smart, but are really measurable. Let's say if I add percentage goals, I can actually put in some values that help me track that goal throughout the year. Okay, but going back to the dashboard. So probably these goals, this goal that is at risk is something that Bill will check on when he meets Anne. And actually, there's a feature in Gecko that supports this kind of check-ins. That's one-on-one talks and he can of course see that he and Anne, they are having talks, those one-on-one talks regularly, so her health is strong. He can also see what they agreed on when they met the last time. But let's say that he wants to add that goal that is at risk to the agenda for the next one-on-one to check in on that topic specifically. So basically, he would either open the last one-on-one talk to see what they agreed on here. The next one's already scheduled, as I can see, and he can easily add, let's say, that to the talking points. And so on. So actually nice is that Gecko also suggests some other talking points, for example, for to get some inspiration, or if to remind me as a manager what to talk about more. For example, I can add that suggestion because I want to share some good feedback with Anne on the next meeting. So I'm already showing you a next element in performance management. That's one-on-one talks. That's this more informal tool for managers and employees to use throughout the year and really add important takeaways, so that in the end of the year, for example, when evaluation comes or when that formal performance talk comes, they have some data already in the system, like a history log of all important events or moments or feedbacks that they've discussed throughout the year in one place. Back to performance dashboard. So one of the things is this performance timeline. That's a good tool for Bill as well, where he sees, for example, the last and can access the last one-on-one talk. He can see that goal that's at risk. Also that, and apparently in his absence, attended a training, so he might want to check in on that one. And what's coming up. So they already have a performance talk planned in the future, and he can see that's in employee prepare status. So employee is already preparing. So let's look at that element or that feature of performance talk, of performance management in Gecko, which is also a separate process that can be used completely separately from other tools that I've showed now. And that performance talk, it's designed in a way that it's really drives a holistic discussion between manager and employee, so that they really sit down and talk about, okay, what's been happening in the past year, what am I proud of, what am I good about, what do I need to improve, and so on. So to support that, Gecko guides employees and managers through like kind of a reflection preparation before that meeting. There are some questions in those sections. So in employee self-reflection, for example, employees ask about their most significant accomplishments. A manager is asked about, how has employee contributed to team goals. But these questions are totally customizable. So each company, you can decide what to and how many questions do you want to add to the reflection. So yeah, Bill sees that Anne has already done some preparation reflection. He's already added some of his answers as well. But yeah, he also needs to, as part of performance talk, need to assess competencies. So the employee has already assessed them, but once he adds his ratings as well, he would be able to see a nice chart. Maybe let's look at the previous performance talk that's already closed and we have all the data in. Like this one, where he can easily see, what are the ratings that employee put in and what are his ratings and where are the biggest discrepancies, so they can talk about that. And another important preparation for performance talk is also feedbacks that Nell will talk about more in detail. But yeah, Gecko really ensures that performance talk is not just a discussion between manager and employee, but it's supporting manager in getting insights, inputs from other people in the company that employee worked with. So he can ask for feedback from various people and see it here to include in the feedback that he will give to the employee in the meeting. Nice feature is also AI, which summarizes all these feedbacks for manager to have a quick summary of what other people said about Anne. But as I mentioned, Nell will share more about feedbacks very soon. So what I maybe want to mention here is also this user guide that you have been seeing on all of the screens that I showed so far. That's a nice feature in Gecko that's basically making sure that all of these tools are not just perceived just as forms, but basically also have some guides. next to them to give some tips or content or guidance to employees and managers on how to actually use all of these tools to bring the biggest impact. And they are, of course, fully customizable. So Gecko comes with some predefined guides, but you can customize them to your and maybe add some links to your guides, to some videos, or maybe just change the text to make it more relevant for you. Yeah, so basically to complete this story, so Bill has in just a few moments got a picture, got a grip on Anne's performance, so he's prepared for the next one-on-one check-in. He would probably do the same for other team members. So for example, let's jump to performance dashboard of Alice, where the picture is a little bit different, right? The metrics on those widgets are a little bit different because the status here is different. So he can also prepare for the check-in with Alice, or maybe the check-in with Aston, where more, for example, the picture is totally different. So he's doing well on goals, but maybe he needs some encouragement in his development. And the sad thing is that basically also the one-on-one talk health metric here is weak. So Bill might consider scheduling some one-on-one talks with this employee. And lastly, what I want to show is when he's a manager, but he's also an employee. So when he logs into Gecko, he can see all of these metrics, basically, well, 3 of these metrics already on his home screen. So these are kind of little nudges that, tell him that maybe he needs to work on his goals as well, and that his one-on-one talk health is average. So he as an employee can also initiate a one-on-one talk with his manager as well. So yeah, hopefully this showed you performance management and all of these features. Now I've showed you a full picture, but as a company, of course, you can choose and pick what elements or what features would fit you and your culture the best. Maybe you want just to, start with goal setting. Maybe you want to boost your feedback culture and you want to focus on feedbacks. Maybe, you already have all of this, but you want to encourage one-on-one talks because they are really beneficial and you want to push that feature into Gecko first. It's fully adjustable, and you can put all of these puzzles together in a way that fits you best.